justified, Connor?
No.
Do you think that conservatives should fear for their life to be in public?
No.
Do you think that you should actively work with and support someone who thinks
that? Not without criticism, no.
So as long as you criticize someone saying that, then it's legitimate that you work with them and get money and get clout from them.
I'm okay. Yeah.
Okay, so if Sarah, for example, co-hosted a show with a neo blank, you know, one of those people with, you know, big fans of the Austrian painter, if she co-hosted a show with him, it made millions of dollars and promoted him and went to college campuses with him and buddied with him and introduced this gentleman to her mother and did all of those things, right? But at the end of every show, she said, by the way, I disagree with you. You'd say that's perfectly reasonable. You wouldn't question whether or not she was connected to that?
No, but I'm going to go ahead and give you a perfect counter example, and you've already been talking for a minute, so I would like it if you indulge me a little bit. Cultured Thug is one of the most intelligent political philosophers that I have met in recent memory. He is a fascist. He believes in political corporatism, flexible authoritarianism, and political corporatism, and he believes in ethnogenesis, okay? If Cultured Thug contacted me, because he is charismatic and he is funny, and he says, Western North Carolina needs disaster aid, and I want you to come help us out water bottles. I'm going to West, and I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to Western North Carolina in order to hand out water bottles, and I don't give a fuck that he's a fascist, because the shared goal is something that I care about.
And so your goal, correct me if I'm wrong, this is what you've said, your goal working with Destiny. I've seen you give two arguments. It was like pulling teeth, but you've given them. One was because you need to work with him because it would take you 10 years to accomplish what you want in your channel without him, correct?
Yeah, yes. I work with influential people to gain influence. Rob, so you do the same
So
thing.
you need to work with Destiny, who's saying that conservatives should fear for their lives in public so that it helps your channel accelerate faster. That's that argument.
Okay. Rob, you work with Andrew Wilson.
He hasn't said that people deserve to die.
Hold on. You are acting like working with influential people is some kind of pejorative. It's not.
Yeah. Imagine comparing working with Destiny with working with Andrew Wilson. Yeah, as Rob said, but Andrew Wilson's not calling for the death of people. Unlike Destiny, Destiny is saying vile things. Andrew Wilson says things that just offend the right people, pretty much. Andrew Wilson doesn't say half of the vile things Destiny does.
It's different. Working with influential people can be something that Destiny is. He's certainly influential. But then Ted Bundy was influential. Would you have worked with him?
I asked you this on Twitter.
Okay.
Do you think Stephen believes in the Constitution of the United States of America?
I don't know if he believes it or not. I would suggest strongly no.
I think he does.
I think strongly.
Have you thrown your lot in with a pedophile who tried to overthrow the Republic of the United States of America?
I don't believe he is. You do. Do you believe that Destiny said that conservatives should fear for their lives?
Yeah, I heard that.
Do you believe that Destiny is an immoral sex pest?
I think that Stephen's sex past or sex life is immoral.
Did you say that, quote, when talking about this, that no one is more sex negative than you?
Yes.
So that would imply that you find what he's done to be very egregious when it comes to his sexual activities.
No. So
you don't.
Let's parse this.
Okay.
Okay. What Stephen is accused of doing, and by the way, did they kick everybody else? Or
she put us up one-on-one.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
It's a lovely speed date for the two of you to get to know each other.
All right, it's fine. Okay. So what Stephen is accused of, which obviously I morally condemn, is he is accused of sexting a girl that he believed to be 18 or 19, who lied about her age, who created homemade pornography, shared it with him, and he shared homemade pornography with that other person. Now, on the scale of things, yes, this is bad. Condemn it. I hate promiscuity. I think sharing fucking homemade pornography with random fucking people is cringe, disgusting, gross, whatever. Okay. However, if you compared that to Andrew Tate, somebody who sex trafficked women and forcibly raped them, I'm not going to pretend that Stephen and Andrew Tate are the same.
Well, okay, no one would pretend that's the same, but nonetheless, that doesn't force you. That's not that doesn't force you to work with the person that you don't think is as bad as Andrew Tate. I'll ask one more specific question about Destiny sex life. The only reason I bring it up is because you specifically said that you found it grotesque. If you would have just said, I don't believe it or it's not a big deal to me, then I wouldn't even address it. I don't give a shit. But you're the one who said, that
hold on. You think that I can't work with people with whom I disagree vociferously about their personal lives?
Well, it's one thing to disagree with personal life. It's another thing to think someone's grotesquely immoral and work with them. I'll ask this last question. Do you think, I'll ask this last question because I really find this part of it to be the least interesting part. If it does turn out that he has videos of someone who's under the age of 18 still saved on his computer, would you continue working with him because he's influential?
No, but I'm gonna go ahead and caveat that. Okay, if he had solo making allegations in November 29th of 2024, and he did not believe those allegations, and he held on to it as a part of his legal court case, and then once it was alleged with confirmed information via Kiwi Farms, he put that on a thumb drive and he says, "I believe that these people were creating homemade pornography that is illegal. Here, law enforcement, do what you want with it." I think that I don't give a fuck.
The caveat on you working with him if he has underage pornographic material
Rob,
is.
Hold on, Rob. I don't want you to moral grandstand because I want you to understand this. I want you to understand this real quick.
I was trying to move on from the point.
A qualified difference between holding on to evidence related to a case and turning it over to law enforcement the second that you know it's illegal versus holding on to it for your own gratification.
Sure, there are reasons it would be different.
Right?
I think both reasons. I understand they can be different. It doesn't matter. The point I was trying to get is the fact that you said
it does matter.
It doesn't matter if you would listen to me. Listen, Connor. I know.
Versus a legal process. Are you going to start?
Rob, how do you know
what you're doing?
What was the end of my sentence? I was going to say
because you're morally grandstanding. Because you're morally grandstanding. You're trying to conflate.
Yell a homophobic slur next. Get Sarah's channel banned too. Go ahead. Now, if you would listen, what was the sentence I was going to finish with when I was going to say it doesn't matter because all I was trying to get you to admit is there are things that Destiny could do that you would say, despite the fact he's influential, I don't want to work with him. But you wouldn't let me get that last part of the sentence out. Instead, you spurred out over and over. So now that you've admitted, now that you've admitted, I understand your tactic. I get it. I don't give a shit. I'll keep talking. I understand your tactic. This is what I know you learned from your daddy, Destiny. Like, I understand this is what you do. You're just going to talk over me because you're incapable of actually listening to the point you're bidding. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to stop talking. I'm tired of this. You keep talking over me. You're going to allow me to finish my point. You're going to allow me to finish my point. I don't give a shit.
Boys.
You know what pisses me off is that they in the last video I covered where it was Radical Coper debating Rob, Radical Coper said the same thing. You're moral grandstanding here because Rob was saying, well, you were, Rob was saying things like you're morally grandstanding, and now Conor here, Radical Conor, is also saying that moral grandstanding. The thing is that they morally grandstand all the time. You know, if I say I like Trump, then they'll say like, "Oh, do you think it's good that you voted for a PDF file? That you're supporting a PDF file and these things of that nature?" They morally grandstand all the time. They just don't like it thrown back at them. That's all it is.
That's enough.
I would like to make a point.
I would like to finish my point.
One at a time.
I don't care about your point. I would like to make my point first.
Good to see you, Emmett.
Listen, we're gonna go one at a time.
I have like 3 more minutes worth of shit, and then I'll leave.
One at a time.
No, I would like to make my point.
Go ahead, baby.
You go on your thing.
Emmett, you misspelled his name. It's Conor with 1 N. It's Conor. It's Radical Conor.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, if you're being good faith, you'll recognize that effectively what I'm doing is I'm consenting to an interrogation. You're speaking for 2/3 of the runtime, and then I'm answering your questions. Then you're jumping to your next question. So, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with you like interrogating my values, virtues, questions, whatever. But if I have a point to make, or if I feel like you're asking a question that implies something, I'm going to interrupt you in order to point it out. And if you're not an asshole, you'll let me do it.
Okay, thank you for adding that point that you needed to get out that rubbed nothing for this whatsoever. Now that you've admitted that there's things that can be done, now that you've admitted that there's things that you could do, that someone could do that would make them, even if they were influential, you not want to work for them, I have a couple more questions. Do you consider yourself a conservative?
Yes.
And you'll acknowledge that Destiny said conservatives should fear for their lives to go in public?
Yes, I will also add to the fact, hold on, stop. I told you that you're running an interrogation and I want to
just make your point. The meta shit's irrelevant. Go.
Okay. So stop interrupting. So the entire context of that sentence, which I disagree with, which I've spent 5 hours criticizing, is the fact that he said that conservatives should fear for their lives going to public events and should fear being killed in order to pressure their leadership to turn the temperature down. That's the full context of the quote.
Yes, I understand the context of the quote. He wants people like me
You
and
didn't
other.
say the context of the quote.
Let me finish. He wants people like me and people that are conservatives, including you and people in your family that presumably be conservative, to fear for their lives. And he has a rationale because he thinks they should do that because he doesn't like the way he vote. I find that to be despicable. The fact that you're willing to work with a man, let me finish, and then you can finish your point. The fact that you're willing to work with a man who said this, who said the following thing: the worst thing that could have happened was the assassin's bullet not hitting Trump, who said many times that he's tired of conservatives and wants them killed. The fact that you're willing to work with a man who said that, and your argument is, but I have to do it for clout and for money, shows the despicable character that you have.
Okay, so I would like to make a point. There are, as a matter of fact, I've made beautiful drawings. I would love it if you reacted to my drawings, Rob. I'm going to go ahead and pull one up, okay?
Oh my
so
God.
I would argue that I was raised with probably 5 political philosophies, okay, that all are variants of conservatism that support what the Republican Party used to believe, okay? What I would argue is that it's Burkean conservatism, environmental conservatism, neoconservatism, social conservatism, and fiscal conservatism. All 5 of these philosophies have been supported by Nixon, Teddy Roosevelt, Reagan, et cetera, et cetera. I can articulate with perfect clarity how MAGA and Donald Trump have backstabbed every single one of these philosophies. Not only can I say that they have backstabbed and shit on these 5 separate philosophies, they are also contributing to deaths that maybe not you, but other people absolutely fucking laugh about with reckless abandon. Donald Trump, through the PEPFAR cuts, is projected to kill 3 million people through AIDS. He is projected to kill 11 million people through cholera, through dengue, through malaria over the next 5 years in order to save 0.16% of the federal budget. And then he slashed taxes, meaning that he didn't even save any fucking money. He just is projected to kill 14 million people. Not only that, conservatives have laughed as they have deported people without due process to a fucking gulag in El Salvador. And then they've laughed as innocent people have been tortured. And so I'm not exactly in this whole fucking perspective of, oh, let me clutch my pearls because Rob's mad at me. Rob's mad at me because I'm not a Trump dick sucker. I don't give 2 fucks. I think that you, your movement, American Nacho, every conservative who sweeps for Trump, I think that you are fucking stupid as shit. You make the world a worse place, and I can't wait to beat you at the fucking ballot box.
Okay, so 2 things.
Yeah. So what's it called again? Is that conservative though, allowing a bunch of illegals to come here and not get them out of here? I'm tired of these people defending. Well, what about their due? They had their due process, guys. They had their due process. They looked through their records. Oh, we don't have their information. Or hey, oh, there's evidence here that they're illegal. Let's send them back. And who the heck do you feel sorry for that are in those prisons? The gang members? You feel sorry for them? Because I don't. These people are wild for the whole due process shit. Like you're hearing due process from like, what was it, Rand Paul? Because he's having problems with those boats being bombed, the ones that are smuggling fentanyl over here. He's like, what about their due process? What the fuck is wrong with you people? What the hell is wrong with you? Jeez. If there was a lot of people being shipped sent away by mistake, or boats being bombed by mistake, then you could have an argument for due process. But if there's barely little to no mistakes being made, then clearly they're doing fine. Enough with your due process bullshit.
Well, 3 things real quick.
How
let
are
me
you beating us if you're just voting for the other side?
Let me respond. 1, you were hired
So
by
based.
Progressive Victory and these other places
See you
do a
later,
good
Emma.
job. How'd that work
Have a good
out?
one.
You beat
No.
us at the ballot box, right? Oh, wait. Good spending of that money,
Oh,
Progressive
wait, you
Victory.
won
You
by
got
a
your...
10%.
Why do you have to interrupt? I sit there and let you... Here we fucking go. Here we go. Are you capable of controlling it? I'll talk over you again. I don't give a fuck.
I'm gonna point it out, Rob.
That's a dumb point. It's ridiculous. Sarah, you know it's ridiculous. You know it's fucking ridiculous. You know it's so stupid.
Rob, finish your point.
Right. Like, so I let him talk for like 3 minutes unfettered. I'd like to get my points out, right? Like, constantly he complains about interrupting when it's only him doing it, right? Second thing that I wanted to say, all of that is a rambling nonsense that is something that's a false dichotomy. And the argument is, you find Donald Trump to be despicable, fine, great. You're allowed to think he's despicable. You're allowed to call yourself a conservative, not vote for him. 2 points, no problem. The difference is working with someone who says all of this heinous shit. Notice what Conor did was not answer for the fact that he says, yes, he disagrees with it. But Destiny did, in fact, say that he thinks conservatives should fear for their lives based on who they vote. He didn't answer. He didn't answer the fact that he knows Destiny said the worst thing that could have happened was that bullet killing Trump or missing Trump. He didn't answer for the fact that he said several times heinous things about wanting conservatives to die. It's not that he's voting for that guy begrudgingly. It's that he's working with him, admittedly, for money and clout. Not only is he working for him, it's not something he's doing begrudgingly. He's introducing Destiny to his family. He wants you to believe that it's like, I have to. It's me. I'm the big man. I have to get this clout and money. And I have to work with Destiny, who said all these terrible shit, because only I, Conor, and only via working through Destiny can I stop the great orange man. It's hubris, it's nonsense, and it belies what's actually happening, which is Conor wants money and clout. That's what this is about. And so he's willing to work with someone and then make these false dichotomies. But Trump's a really bad man. The last thing I'll say is this. I'll ask you this question, Conor. If you seriously believe that because of Donald Trump, 3 million people will die, would you be morally justified in taking him out?
Because, no. And the reason why is because we had a vote at the ballot box, okay? I think that while 3 million people dying from preventable disease is horrific, and the fact that you just sidestep that is repulsive to me. At the same time, I think that democracy is the worst form of governance except for all the other ones. And so what happened was you and your ilk, because you're stupid and you don't understand politics, you don't understand words, et cetera, you are, through your vote, 170 millionth guilty of that sin. I'm not guilty of that sin. That's your cross to bear. So
Then
as a result, all I can do, hold on, I'm going to make another few points. All I can do is I can advocate and fight for within the realm of politics for people to see the world that I do. And by the way, one of your points is so asinine. It's unbelievable. You're saying, oh, you didn't win this election. I guess you shouldn't participate in politics anymore. I'm sorry. When Donald Trump lost in 2020, did you give up on politics?
No, I'll
Obviously
answer that question.
not.
I'll
It's
answer
a
that.
dumb point.
No,
Stop
because there's two big
It's a dumb
super
point.
chats. I do
It's a
want to
dumb
read
point.
them. Conor, these are coming over, I believe, on your side. The devil says, that's weird to say, dark money enjoying Conor holding up the mirror.
Hail Satan.
And
The devil like that
loud,
mirror?
I bind that in the name of Christ.
Do we
loud
even need to say
scissors
anything?
again over, pardon me.
I want to make another
Loud-
point when the super chats are done.
of course you do.
Sure. Loud
Yeah, I
scissors
like
says,
talking, Rob. I'm here
oh
to
my
talk.
God, this is your money. I want to read it for you.
Yeah, counterpoints. I guess that's all he's just doing is counterpoints and just interrupting and yelling at his opponents. But yeah, he's totally Trump deranged though. Everything. So by that logic, if Rob is guilty or if I'm guilty for contributing to millions of people dying of AIDS, well then I guess he's guilty for all the people that died. When they weren't allowed treatments for not getting the COVID jab, or people fired. Like he's also guilty of everything Joe Biden did under his presidency as well. So I don't know why he's using that logic.
Loud
Thank you.
Scissor says Rob got blown out by Destiny over Obama, and that is why he is obsessed.
That's not true. I would suggest
Okay.
there's one person that's probably getting blown out by
harder.
Destiny,
Are there-
and it ain't
are there-
me.
Cope more, Rod.
May- may I make a
Oh
statement?
man, on target.
Okay. So this is one of the things. This is why this insult is not landing on me, okay? Is because we work within a democratic republic. And guess what clout is? Clout is popularity. Do you know what money is? Money is energy. It's the ability to take energy and spend it towards things that you believe in. So
I
you
love
say that I
energy.
want clout. You're saying that I want popularity within a democracy. That's true. Do you know what you also say? You want money. You're right. I want money because I want energy in order to spend it on things that I care about. Not only do I want to take care of my friends and family, which I don't think you begrudge me for, but I would also love to do things. I'm in a little political group called the Real Republicans, and we're coming up with crazy ideas on
The
what
real
to do with this money
Republicans.
in order to make
More like really gay Republicans.
the world a better place. So the fact that you think that I'm just snorting these fucking drugs or I'm running a second family or banging hookers, you're a fucking idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. You're criticizing something that everybody within politics does. And by the way, do you know what politics is without clout and money? Do you know what politics is without influence? It's having an opinion. I'm not interested in having an opinion. I'm interested in politics.
Okay, I'll answer this. I wonder if that group you're in with those Republicans, your super cool Republican group, if they too fear for their lives like Destiny wants when they go out, right? Won't that be
Well,
great?
dude,
There,
14
you
million
can't
people
control
in the laugh
yourself. You
about it.
absolutely can't
Hold
control
on,
yourself.
hold on.
It's pathetic,
Everybody be quiet.
right? Like it's absolutely
You're a
pathetic.
pussy.
I'm not a pussy. I'm directly addressing. I come in and debate you at any time. You're the person that had to rage quit last time after spurting out homophobic slurs. You're the person that's so much of a.
I'm sorry.
There you
Hold
go.
on, Rob.
There's the.
While you're
There
taking
you go. There
while
you
you're
go.
taking the
See?
high road,
See?
did
There
you say
go.
something about my wife? Did you say something about
Yeah,
my
I'll
wife,
answer that
Mr.
too.
Man of Honor?
Yes. Do you want me to answer?
Yeah, so don't
Yes.
take the high
Y'all
road
from
with
crazy
me, Rob.
town.
Nobody
Let me,
believes it.
now I know it's
I
difficult.
prefer to keep the personal stuff off the screen if we can. I don't want to hear anything about
Yeah,
anybody's
you
life.
bring
Thank
my
you.
wife or you bring my family into it, you bring my honor into it, I'm going to call you the F slur. And if
Okay.
we were in person and you said that shit to my
That's
face, it would get personal.
What honor?
I'm going to answer this. Your wife publicly called me gay
No.
several times.
Hey, bro.
I
come on,
addressed it.
man. What
Oh,
the
God.
hell? Why are
Would
No.
you?
you
No,
evil?
listen. I'll leave the panel.
Nah.
I'll just leave the panel.
Nah.
I'll leave the panel.
Nah.
This is what it's going to be.
Nah.
I'll leave the
Bro,
panel.
really,
That's what
though,
it's going to be.
you said you're
I
gonna
can't
leave the
address
panel.
this.
Rob.
three times
I can't.
already.
All right,
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see you guys if that's how it's going to be. But I think
mean, you
it's
wanna be
fair
a little
game.
bit rage quit.
Constantly, Connor
Yeah,
interrupts
rage
as I'm
quit.
trying to talk.
He does,
Constantly.
and I'm trying to shut it down, but nobody will shut up so that I can shut you up.
So I'm making a point. I didn't go after Connor's family just willy-nilly. I went after a person who I wasn't treating as an inferior because she came after me first. I didn't know Connor's
don't
wife.
care,
She
bro.
on.
I don't care.
Shut up,
I
Rick.
really
No one
don't
asked
care.
you.
No,
Shut
no,
up.
you shut up.
Why?
Shut the fuck up.
Oh my
Rick.
gosh.
Me up and face her.
Dude, man, some people don't know when to shut up. Like, dude, like this is between Rob and Conor. Like, let them talk. Like, let them duke it out. It's entertaining shit. And also, too, I want to see Conor get wrecked. So, yeah, it would be nice if everyone else just shut up.
Face
Stop
her to
gargling
shut up.
fucking
Face her to
Connor's
shut
nuts
up.
and
Okay.
shut
We all
up.
want to
Bro,
talk,
bring
Clay. Shut
family
up.
into this.
Fine.
It's so
Shut up. If someone, regardless of their gender, decides to call you names or enter into the debate, it is appropriate to respond in kind. That's it. She kept talking about my genitals and what I was doing with other people's genitals, and I merely made the point that she seemed oddly interested in me and genitals. If that upsets Conor, then clearly he should tell his wife that she shouldn't be making those sorts of comments. He made the homophobic slurs knowing it would get the channel banned and didn't care. Now, the
No,
point I'm
I
trying to
didn't.
make is
No,
that,
that
he
was
rage
instinct, Rob.
he rage quit after that, and as he shows his cowardice here by needing to constantly interject. So I make the point that he's working with a person. Everything that he's saying here is a non sequitur. He's making the same
Exactly.
excuse that everyone that engages in a corrupt way in politics does. I had to embezzle the money because money is power and connections, and therefore I had to do it so that I could achieve my political goals. I remind you, there's an answer that Conor could have done. He could have chosen to work with someone who's not calling for people that are Republicans to fear for their lives when they're out in public. He could have worked with someone who wasn't saying the worst thing that could have happened was the assassin's bullet missed Donald Trump, or many other things that he said like that. He chose not to because through his own hubris, he's trying to make excuses that he needs to be the one that steps up and gets this clout so he could stop Donald Trump. Of course, I'm not saying that because you lose in politics that you don't compete anymore. What I'm saying is when you sell your soul to work for people this disgusting and then you still don't win, it should cause some self-reflection.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And you could tell, you could tell Conor wasn't even listening there. Like, you can see he's not even listening. He's just doing this, talking. He doesn't care about the truth. He is so Trump deranged that he's even willing to work with the devil in Destiny if it means defeating Donald Trump. That's how warped and Trump deranged he is. So they didn't get to this part, but I think a little bit after this, Conor admits that he thinks that he gets he asks, I think Rob asked him, like, do you think the world is better off without Charlie Kirk? And he says, yes, I do think the world's a little bit better without Charlie Kirk. And then Conor asks Rob, do you think the world would be better without Destiny? And then Rob actually admits yes. And then everyone interrupts. So we actually don't get to hear Rob's reasoning behind that or his logic or anything, which is why, like, sometimes it's like, this is kind of why, like, sometimes I want to start either moderating or something, because I would have just had these two. Just keep it to these two. You know, like Sarah had it good when at first she had the speed dating, but she should have left it here. No one else I don't care what anyone else has to say, quite frankly. Like, I don't. As a viewer, I don't give a shit what anyone else has to say. I want to see Rob and Conor go at it. And so Rob got interrupted. But bottom line is that Conor thinks that Charlie Kirk, the world is better off without Charlie Kirk. So he kind of implies that having I made the comment too. I sent a super chat in that basically said Connor thinks that a country full of Charlie Kirks is worse than a country full of Destinies, all because of pretty much his Trump derangement. Like, that's how much he hates Donald Trump, that he actually thinks that if we had a country full of Destinies, well, because Destiny votes the right way, it's actually better than having a country full of Charlie Kirks, because the country full of Charlie Kirks voted the wrong way and they believe the wrong things, which shows exactly where his crazy mindset is. That's crazy to think that the world is better off without Charlie Kirk in here. It's just crazy to think that. Any logical sound person would much rather have a country full of Charlie Kirks than a country full of Destinies. And but only someone that lives in Bizarro World like Conor and all these lefties and all these never Trump Republicans, they live in Bizarro World where they think Donald Trump is the worst human being ever, and therefore. So I don't know if there's any hope for Conor. It was actually annoying. He never let Rob talk, and then when Rob would talk, he would complain that Rob was going on forever, and then Conor would go on forever. Rob wouldn't interrupt, but as soon as Rob would talk, Conor would complain about it. So Conor couldn't absolutely help himself. Oh yeah, and by the way, also Conor started to become a tough guy, saying, "I used to be a police officer. I was in the army." Blah 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 blah. Pretty much saying that he would kick anyone's ass and stuff like that. Online tough guy this Conor is. What a freaking low life this dude is. But what did you guys think? How did you guys think Rob did? Leave a comment in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this. Also hit that like button and that notification bell. If you want to see more of Rob Noerr, I have a whole playlist for you that I think you'll enjoy. And I also have other Raging Tomato debates that I think you'll enjoy. Also, the link to this original video is down below. This was on Rob Noerr's channel. It is in the description.